We're in the northwest corner of Michigan, in Ludington, right on the shores of Lake Michigan. We're going to try and get the races in. We're under the threat of inclement weather this afternoon. Now, during the summer, Ludington is for lovers, but on this afternoon, Ludington is for horse lovers on Michigan Hoof Beats. This is week 9 on the Michigan Fair Circuit, and today we are covering the 2-year-old pacing colts in the blue division, going for a purse of $8,100. Hi, everybody. I'm Marty Adler. We have rain to the north of us, rain to the east of us, rain to the south of us, and we understand there's a storm coming from Wisconsin. That storm isn't in the form of the Green Bay Packers. It is going to be wet very shortly. We hope to get the races in this afternoon. On today's show, we meet a former 4-H club member from Sturgis who's graduated to the big time. Find out why this mare is trying to get to her Chincoteague. Meet a harness racing fan club member from Orr Lake who just bought himself a winning horse. And go see what we can pick up at the Standardbred Co-op sale in Durand, Michigan. Whenever we get to a fair, we have to check in with a head guy, and Butch Hartley is the man that we're checking in with right now. He is the speed superintendent here at Ludington. Butch, tell me, what is so special about the Western Michigan Fair here in Ludington?
The Western Michigan Fair, it's just a nice area. I mean, it's for everybody comes here to enjoy the area. The racetrack is good. I think it's fast today.
So it's more than just a racetrack. It's an area where you actually come and you bring the kids and you can have yourself a pretty good vacation.
Oh, this is a vacation paradise. This is probably one of the best areas in Michigan. The beach and the state park, fishing is great, Hammond Lake. Yeah, it's really a nice area.
We came here, we didn't even see the fair. There are no rides, and I like going on the rides.
Tomorrow afternoon, they'll be out 4 o'clock, I think the rides open up. They'll be setting up today.
We took a look at the track. That track looks in pretty good shape. Describe the track, but of course we're under some pressure today.
You're right. It's a little bit cloudy. I think it might rain this afternoon, but we're going to get these races out. They're working it up right now, and it's real fast. The track is fast.
Every year you're under this threat of rain. Have you ever had to cancel?
No, we've never canceled. 3 years in a row, though, it's rained starting the races. So we've always got the races in.
Track surface is what kind?
Clay. Clay.
That means it gets awful muddy awful fast, right?
It's real snotty.
But you're on top of it.
Well, we'll get it. We'll get it.
Is that a racing term?
That's a racing term. Leave that out.
Well, the sun is out right now, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed that Butch can get all his races in. We're in the city of Ludington. Let's take a look at Ludington, Michigan. 240 miles northwest of Detroit, on the Lake Michigan shore, is the resort community of Ludington. Ludington is for lovers. Even on rain-threatening overcast days, whether down at the harbor or walking the breakwall to the lighthouse in the lake, bring along your sweetheart and relax. Get yourself an ice cream cone, then take in the free Saturday night concert in the park. Big band music to soothe the soul, capping your day by returning to one of the many bed and breakfasts that line the main street. One visit, and you'll discover that Ludington is for lovers. And you've got to love Turbo's Hitman. This is one of only 2 2-year-olds that Al Tomlinson is racing this year. The other is Another Mile.
Another Mile, he's home. We raced him in Chicago, Fox Stake yesterday. Indianapolis, excuse me, not Chicago. Finished second, raced big, 52-3. They gave him 52-4.
How much were you racing for?
$75,000.
And you finished second.
Yes, sir.
And you could have won it.
Oh, that's what McGee says.
Your driver, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we don't...
road trouble, you know, those things happen.
We don't have Another Mile in this race, but we do have your next best 2-year-old. And how does he rank right now in this race today?
Very good. I haven't seen the book. I don't know how we drew compared to the other colt that, yeah.
And
if we draw inside him, who knows?
Is there a game plan today? Nobody else knows. Nobody else is listening. What's the game plan?
I have none. Go all you can go.
And out of the 5-hole, that's on the outside here, this track.
So?
Well, the sun is out right now, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed for Butch that we can get all the races in this afternoon. Now, one thing that all the fairs have in Michigan that is common is a great 4-H program for younger guys and gals. We met up with a gal in the backstretch who has taken her 4-H program a step further. Cindy, can you tell me your background around horses?
I've had horses all my life. I had show horses till I was probably in my early 20s. Did 4-H. Then got interested in the standardbreds and have been for about 10 years.
So 4-H really gave you your early encounters around animals and horses in particular.
Yeah, my family had the riding horses, and my older sister did.
You're racing a horse today called Candice Casey, who looks like she really has a good chance of getting a nice check today. Tell me about her. How did you get her?
We raced her mother in like 1990 approximately, and she raced really well as a 2-year-old, and then at 3 raced a few good times and then come down with the EPM disease. So she's still a brood mare, and she's produced a couple 3 that have been decent race horses.
Now, I understand you're getting married. What about your husband-to-be? Does he like the horses, or is he going to be like a Mr. Mom?
No, he likes them. I'm glad of that. He likes to help take care of them, and he's here at the races today, so he enjoys it.
He'll be cheering you on.
I hope so.
Cindy's a great gal, and we hope she does well with her 2-year-old filly trotter. Today, we are covering the 2-year-old pacing colts, and when we return, we're going to tell you what a Chincoteague is. It has 4 legs and kind of looks like a horse, we think. Come on back to Michigan Hoof Beats. Michigan Hoof Beats, and this week we're at the Western Michigan Fair in Ludington. Hi everybody, Marty Adler back with you again, and you know there is a wonderful air of excitement that goes on at a fair, and in Ludington being for lovers, you see all kinds of couples walking around in the grandstand and in the backstretch, and there is something that has a very special value when you mix racing and couples. And we're going to show you right now. You know what a Chincoteague is? Well, it's a Chincoteague that keeps Tim and Wendy Murdoch together. Tell me, what type of pony is a Chincoteague?
They are a wild pony that may have wrecked on the island off a Spanish galleon during a shipwreck many, many years ago.
What island?
Chincoteague Island off the coast of Virginia.
How did you hear about this pony?
Well, I was on a ferry ride from Ludington to Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and my mother gave me Marguerite Henry's book, Misty of Chincoteague, and I read it, never forgot it, and knew someday that I would go there and bring back a pony of my own.
And this pony is playing a major role in the racing career of the two of you here in Michigan.
Yes, she is. She travels with Tim and Star. A lot of time they race during the week, and I have to work, but they're a threesome. They travel all over the state of Michigan while Star races, and Molly's right there to interact with the other horses and socialize on her behalf, and then also to help relax Star and give Star a touch of home when she's out racing.
The Chincoteague ponies, they really excel at any environment. They can really do well anywhere you take them. They're not a nervous type animal, and we take Molly everywhere with us. She's great with kids. She don't mind dogs. She don't mind vehicles, and anything she does, she excels at. And it's not just her. People we talk to that have them say it's all Chincoteague ponies.
Wendy and Tim having a lot of fun racing at the fair with their racehorse and their Chincoteague. Well, did you ever think that you'd like to buy a racehorse? We went to a sale just last week to find out what the ins and outs were when going to an auction for horses. Well, here at the co-op sale, you're going to find an awful lot of excitement going on. Joining us right now is Patty Gyra. She has a sale of her own coming up very shortly. But first, Patty, tell me, what are we going to find here at this sale?
Lots of bidders, lots of quality colts, a good time.
It's good for people watching, even if you're not interested in buying a colt. Just watch how some of these people react, right?
Right, they have their own styles of bidding, getting bids, yes.
Right, okay. I mean, you can't go around like pulling your nose. You may end up with a horse, right?
That's right. You'll end up buying one.
Or going around like tugging at your ear. Some do that, right?
That's right. You'll own one too.
You'll own one too, right? You know, or waving at flies, you can really run into a lot of trouble, right?
You got it.
Yeah, okay. Or wiping your brow because it's hot outside.
That's right.
I get that. You get the idea. You're going to see an awful lot of that going on. Now, you have a sale of your own coming up. Tell me about it.
September 12th at Michigan State University, the brand new Ag Pavilion that they built 2 years ago. It's the Great Lakes Standardbred Select Yearling Sale.
Okay, so you're looking for a lot of people to show up. This is a good time to get a horse. Everything's right in the world in Michigan.
Right, it is. Actually, it's really a good time to buy, to be a buyer. because there's no one sire that's dominating across the board this year. So we're able to offer a lot of different sires, some excellent consigners. Most of the major farms here in Michigan are consigning with us. We believe this is our best sale ever.
Well, as I turn around, Patty, I see somebody just paid an awful lot of money for that yearling there, so things are really looking good. Don't know who that was. Maybe we'll try and track him down later. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you at the Great Lakes sale.
Thank you.
Well, we found out who the lucky bidder was. It was me for $15,000. And look what I got. I can't figure out if this is a trotter or a pacer. Come on, we got to get the hobbles on you. Let's go. Come on. All right, so let's see. We need Al Tomlinson here right now.
The sale topper at the Standard Bred Co-op yearling sale was hip number 40, Perfect Blue Time, a filly by Perfect Spiral out of Satisfactory. She was purchased by Janice Chippy of Cass City. Look for her next year at the fair.
It was a lot of fun, but you've got to watch those moves when you go to a horse sale. You never know what you can pick up. Well, there are a lot of horses racing in this afternoon's feature for the 2-year-old pacing colts. We had a chance to talk to Keith Ho. Unusual circumstance, he has 2 horses racing in the same event.
Well, this is Admirals Express Admiral Galley colt, and he's raced well down and lower in class. He's coming on, so we're getting him ready for the Cider Stake coming in this year and moving him up in class to go against these better ones and see if he's going to compete.
He's a pretty big horse, isn't he?
For a 2-year-old he is, yeah.
Where did you get him?
At the Great Lakes sale and Michigan State University sale last September.
Who's the other one that you have in the race today?
Load Fire.
Tell me about him.
He's was a $1,000 purchase at the Adrian sale, one-time bid. That was the minimum bid, and he's made as much as this colt. They both made around $5,000 or a little better. I think he's had pretty near all first, seconds, and thirds.
I noticed you had a big smile on your face. I mean, you paid $1,000, and now he's made $5 grand already.
Yeah, he's coming on pretty good.
Keith certainly does have his work cut out for him, even though he has 2 of the 8 entries in our race this afternoon. Well, have you ever wanted to own a racehorse? There is a man who started out by joining a harness racing fan club, gets a copy of his Harness Racing Insider as part of being a member. And we had a chance to meet with him because recently, James Tisch just bought himself a racehorse.
James Tisch enjoys a pretty nice lifestyle, living at his home on Orr Lake, which is located in Brighton, Michigan. Some days you can find him sitting on his boat, reading his Harness Racing Insider magazine. And James, I guess it's a pretty nice lifestyle for you, isn't it?
Oh, yes, quite.
Now, why would somebody who enjoys this kind of lifestyle get involved in harness racing and ultimately own a racehorse?
Because I've always loved the sport. I've been going for 40 years, and I, about a year or 2 ago, decided that I would like to own one.
You belong to this harness racing fan club. Tell me about it.
Well, Dan Conway is the editor of the magazine, and we met him about 2 years ago. And we started going to his outings, and this is how we met a lot of the horse racing people, and ultimately how we met Alan Tomlinson, our trainer.
How did you pick out the horse, and how did it happen?
Well, we went to the yearling sale last September, and with Al's help, we were looking at a number of yearlings, and we came upon this one. You stole my heart. And we really both of us really liked the way she looked.
Is fan club a good idea for anybody?
It's a chance for people to get to know the drivers, the trainers, some of the track officials at Hazel Park, Jackson, Saginaw, and learn more about the sport itself.
While James relaxes out on his houseboat on the lake, we are here in Ludington. We're also on the lake, so, hey, he hasn't got anything on us. Right now it's time for our post-parade.
Number 1 is Admirals Express, owned by Ed Safey of Rockford, the driver Charles Taylor. 2 is Best Foot Forward, owned by Walter Bird of South Lyon, the driver Brad Kramer. 3 is B.A. Hustling, owned by Kathleen Conan and Doreen Reynolds of Croswell, the driver Darrell Wright. 4 is Rick's Royal Match, owned by Jeff Howells and Gus Demopoulos of Oxford, the driver Don Harmon. 5 is Turbo's Hitman, owned by Dwayne Chippy and Richard Sykes of Cass City, the driver Carl Putnam Jr. 6 is Julie's Legacy, owned by Thurman Baker of Imlay City, the driver Alan Cisco. 7 is Lock Load Fire, owned by Ed Safey of Rockford, the driver Butch Dokie. And 8 is JC, owned by Dave Tanner and Jim Jackson of Weberville, the driver Kelly Goodwin.
A horse last week that went a monster mile in Midland is a horse by the name of JC. We caught up with his owner, breeder, trainer in the backstretch. Now all of a sudden he's come on, he's the talk of the 2-year-old ranks because he had a big performance at Midland. Describe that performance at Midland.
Well, that was scary. I mean, that was our first time going against the best of the best. And he had a good draw, you know. And we found out he can leave the gate. I mean, they went to the quarter in 27-3, and he's just a real tough horse.
Why did you name him JC?
Well, both my children's names are Jamie and Cameron, so that's how that worked.
How do you think this colt will do on this track today?
Well, today, with us having a back tier, we're kind of nervous. We want to race him from off the pace, and I mean, he needs this race. I'm kind of glad he did get the back tier so we can kind of take one race and just teach him to come from behind too, like his mom did.
So Kelly Goodwin will be driving JC today. He went a big trip last week, Kelly.
Yes, he did.
What turned him into this big trip?
He was kind of a nice horse. We raced him kind of in the blue. I guess this was the first big test. Leaving the gate was a big test against those good horses of Allen's. And we thought we had a nice horse, but I guess we didn't know where it was going to end.
You're going to be in the second tier behind the horse number 3.
I don't know. I'll take my time today. It won't be a front end trip. It'll be race from behind, and that won't hurt him any. He's got to get used to doing that.
JC this afternoon has the tough 8-hole. That means he's in the second tier and he scores out behind horse number 3. It won't be easy, but he is a tough one and one to watch down the road when they show up the major raceways. Now, another horse in this race that I think you should take a look at is Rick's Royal Match. Jeff Howells does the training, he does the owning, and he told us about Rick's Royal Match.
I raised Rick's Royal Match from the get-go. I have the stallion and the mare both, and he turned into a nice little horse.
Why did you call him Rick's Royal Match since you named him?
Yeah, my son, his name is Rick, so.
I thought maybe it's Match or something.
Well, Royal Match, you know, he's the stallion, and, you know, Rick, so anyway.
Pretty simple. I mean, any dummy could have known that, right? Let alone a track announcer from Canada.
An announcer, yeah.
Right. How do you think he'll do today?
I think, you know, he's in with Turbo's Hitman. He's really a hot one, and JC's really nice. So I think he's going to have his work cut out to get third.
As the Michigan Hoof Beats crew travels around the state promoting the trotters and the pacers, we thought we'd come to Frankenmuth, Michigan, to find out what people on the street know about the sport of harness racing. What is a shadow roll?
You're afraid of yourself, so you roll around in your shadow.
A roll in the shape of a shadow. A shadow roll is when you see your shadow and you do a roll, and your shadow does a roll with you.
You're rolling the hay in the sunshine.
That's when Ohio State's going to beat Michigan. And we're going to be on a roll.
A shadow roll is when you see your shadow rolling in front of you.
No. It's like our pretzel that we were eating, the shadow that it's cast. You know, it's a shadow roll. Yeah, a roll.
Rolled dough. Rolled dough of a pretzel.
A doughy shadowy roll.
So, Al Tomlinson, what is a shadow roll?
A shadow roll is a round piece of foam rubber covered with fuzzy cloth, and it goes below the horse's eyes so they cannot see the ground directly in front of them. It helps to keep from jumping shadows.
Thanks, Al. Now look for the shadow rolls on the 2-year-olds moving in behind the starting gate as we send it up to track announcer Jack Calvert.
They're off and pacing first away in the middle of the racetrack. B.A. hustling, her turbos Hitman and up the rail. Admiral Express. 3 wide as they race around the first turn. B.A. hustling now takes over. Turbos Hitman drives right up on the outside. Admirals Express on the inside, third and best foot forward. Down the back stretch, Turbos Hitman, he paces right on. Opens up a length and a quarter as they race over to that first quarter-mile post. On the inside, B.A. hustling is right there second. Admirals Express now moves in third. Moving up on the inside fourth is best foot forward, followed by Julie's Legacy as they race around that upper turn to head into the lane for the first time. The pace is picking up pretty well. Coming down here to the half-mile mark, Carl Buttman Jr. with Turbos Hitman in control. Moving up on the outside, best foot forward is on the move. Also Julie's Legacy. B.A. hustle up the rail. into that turn and into the backstretch for the second final time. Turbo's Hitman by a length and a quarter. B.A. Hustling is right there second. Best foot forward on the outside third. Admiral Express is now fourth. As they race down the backstretch, B.A. Hustling is off stride, and it's Best Foot Forward taking over second. Julie's Legacy is now third, and here comes J.C. from far back. J.C. now third. J.C. now second, and coming after the leader, Turbo's Hitman. J.C. drives right up, takes over by 3/4. Now takes over by a length and a half. Around that turn, it's J.C. with the lead. Turbo's Hitman second. Julie's Legacy on the outside third. Best Foot Forward on the inside now fourth. As they race into that race for the wire, it's J.C. pacing right on. Past the stands now as they come for the wire. Past the stands, it's gonna be J.C. Here they all come.
Following a stellar performance in Midland last week, JC shows he is for real as he comes from behind to charge up 3 wide around the final turn to win in a new track record for a 2-year-old pacing colts in 2 minutes flat. The son of Armbro Cadet now has 7 wins in 9 starts and earnings over $30,000 for owner breeders Jim Jackson and Dave Tanner.
He's everything you said he was. You were going to race him from behind. That's what you told us before the race. How did he feel like to you?
Really good. He surprised me a little bit. I was back at the quarter pole, and yeah, I'd like to take the credit, but you can't. The horse is the athlete.
So who's going to get the credit? The horse is going to get all the credit here?
I might take a little bit. The trainer, too. The trainer deserves a lot,
You said you're going to race, and I know they really like Turbo's Hitman today. He went to the front. He had no excuses today. This horse here, he did it all the way you wanted him to.
Yep, he worked hard.
This horse had to race every bit the way you wanted him. You laid it out as if it was a Hollywood script.
Well, today he raced just like his mom. That's the way she raced. She just wait and wait and wait and then come flying on the end.
Well, we're now going to see... We are going to see you in October at Hazel Park for the 2-year-old colt final. Congratulations. And what we're going to do right now, we're going to take you and show you the rest of the results right from here in Ludington.
The highlight of the afternoon had to be the performance of Clearly Clout in the 3-year-old pacing filly division. You could be looking at the best filly to ever come out of the state of Michigan as she shatters the filly record by over 2 seconds and the all-time record for any age at Ludington in 1:59.1. The daughter of Stubby B is owned by Norm Vance and the Von C Racing Stables. The biggest disappointment of the afternoon came to the 3-year-old trotting division as On to Rome makes a break at the start, leaving OK Super Chris to cut out the mile, only to have Manly Man apply the pressure, turning for home, and get up in the final strides to win in 2:04.1. Manly Man, catch driven by Darryl Wright, is owned by Walter and Kathleen Beagle and is another offspring of the bargain sires Such Hustle. In the 3-year-old pacing colt division, another highly competitive race as Raider Breaker takes the lead and is pressured on the outside by TC Moonbeam for 3/4 mile. Turning into the stretch on the far outside, that's Alan Cisco and Cortland City, charging up to down TC Moonbeam, who hung on for second in 2:01.1. Cortland City is another Armbro Cadet offspring, owned and trained by Thurman Baker of Imlay City. In the 2-year-old filly trot, our featured trainer this week, Cindy Gherkin, saw her Candice Casey third at the rail, turning for home as OK's Noble Ann had the lead on the inside with Baby Blossom pressuring on the outside. Coming down to the wire, Candice Casey shot up the rail with driver Mark Webster to win by half a length in 2:08.4 to pick up her 4th win in 8 starts this year. Candice Casey is a daughter of Viva Rova and is owned by Anna Watts and trainer Cindy Gherkin in the winner's circle with her hubby-to-be. In the 2-year-old colt trotters division, Tug Your Heart went to the front with driver Larry Smith, led all the way, and then held off a mile challenge from Raspberry Butch to win by 1.5 lengths in 2:06. Tug Your Heart, a son of Valley Everglades, now has 6 wins and 3 seconds in 9 starts and is owned by Larry and wife Mary. In the 3-year-old filly trotting division, Courtney's Elegance took the lead and never was headed, easily winning by 5 lengths in 2:03 to pick up her 5th win in 7 starts. Another daughter of Viva Rova, she's owned by breeder Don Scarborough and trained by Guy Smith. In the fastest of the 2-year-old pacing fillies division, Golden Chorus was on top by 2 at the 3/4 pole and held off a mild challenge by Our Crystal to win by 2 lengths in 2:03 for driver Butch Dokie, his second win on the afternoon. Golden Chorus, a daughter of Arbro Cadet, is owned by Joseph Mendelson and trained by Doug Ackerman. The other division of the 2-year-old pacing fillies was nothing more than a jog burger for My Little Demon, who easily won by 3 lengths over Silver in 2:06 and 2. The daughter of Keystone Raider is owned by breeder Mark Pittman and Diane Norris.
Well, it was a day that started out very tentative. We thought we were going to have showers. The sun came out. It got very hot, very humid. Hope you enjoyed the racing. Couple track records, which was really great at any fair at any time. Next week, we are going to be in Adrian for the Michigan Breeders' Future.